I mean, jumping into buyer's agents, they're not for everybody. There's been a rise over the past, well, buyer's agents have been around actually since 2000. So there's definitely a rise of them coming through now.
So many YouTube videos with so many buyer's agents. And actually there's people selling courses on teaching people how to become buyer's agents. So it's like everybody's getting their little...
You're in the funnel, mate.
Yeah, I am in the funnel.
Yeah. So it's...
I'm in the vortex of property on YouTube. Don't go down it, guys. You'll be... Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, it goes back to the initial point that I mentioned at the start of the pod where there is so many marketing businesses out there that are specialising in real estate, and they're young people, but they're tech savvy, so they've got all these different apps, and they can reach a wider audience, and their skill set is valuable. And they're actually making these buyers agents and real estate agents basically better at deal flow.
Yeah.
And the issue is yeah, cool, you're getting hundreds of more leads a year, but my biggest issue is that you just lack the experience of transacting
asset selection.
Asset selection, analysing, negotiating on actual property itself, which is what they're paying you to do. So people are getting caught up in all these savvy marketing campaigns, thinking these people are great, but in reality, they might have done maybe 10 or 20 deals or something like that, and that is really scary because
very scary.
I mean, I've been doing, I've been valuing property for 10 years, and then in this buyer's agent space for a few years on top of that, and I'm learning every single day. And I work with a team of people we've done thousands of property transactions, and it's just scary to see. And there's definitely a concern that's rising in the industry through the people who are really good at what they do, because they are losing market share, and obviously they're not happy about it. But there's a few situations that we've pulled people out of who have gone down the path with buyers agents that lack that experience.
So that comes to like anybody that I'm going to work with in business, or when we buy businesses, we're going to do due diligence. So doing DD on your buyer's agent is so important. Much like you would do DD on a broker, I guess, a finance broker. But what are the things that we need to look for when we're doing due diligence on selecting a good buyer's agent?
Experience. So once again, minimum 4 years of the buying experience is important.
And with 4 years experience, surely they've done, hopefully bought more than 100 properties, or more than 200, maybe 50 a year. Is that a good thing, or?
Yeah, well, with 4 years, say you're doing 25, 100 property transactions, I think is a good safe sort of figure.
A minimum?
Yeah, minimum.
Absolute minimum.
Me personally, you can go and do these courses.
Obviously, you'd want somebody that's done 10,000 or something,
right? That's a lot. And there's definitely there's shifts where there's been real estate agents who are jumping in the buyer's agent space, and they're very experienced on the transaction base, and they've got that that experience. I'm a valuer that's gone into the buyer's agent space, so I've got all that analysis and then negotiation experience as well. So it's those that are jumping into the industry with they might have a background in marketing, or they might have a background in Bunnings. It's sort of just ask those probing questions, because it is an expensive asset that if you do get it wrong, it can cost you a lot of money. And if you're paying someone to do the service, you may as well be paying someone to do a better job. So some people might charge $10,000. Some people might charge $15,000 to $20,000. Some people charge $100,000. So
100K that's commercial.
No, that's a personal. So
100K for a buyer's agent fee.
Yeah, they run on 1% to 2% of the purchase price. So if you're buying a $10 million property,
got ya. Yeah.
You can go into that space, and then that's also, the space that you're playing with that purchase price. There's a lot more skill set in the niche market, and also finding those good quality off market deals, and those relationships they hold with those agents, and knowing that area is super important. And also people buying 10 million plus properties, they understand the value of their time.
Yeah.
So they could look for property for a year and also know how to know what it's worth, because it's a very important skill set once you're jumping into those higher price brackets.
So buyer's agents, like we're going to do multiple episodes, like I said, on buyer's agents. But for somebody that's buying a $10 million property and spending $100K, I would even think you're silly not to, because that buyer's agent could get that price down by more than $100K. So it's kind of like using a buyer's agent for free. That's why I see it, is like, I know that you know, Sam helped me hugely with my last property, and prior to that, I had another property that I bought with a buyer's agent, and we got a great deal on it, and probably lesser than what the current market would get, because that buyer's agent is just doing so much volume, and they know so many they've got great relationships with all of the people in that area, and they're doing volume.
Yeah,
and it's smarter and easier for agents to take deals and sell deals to buyer's agents, or people using buyer's agents that they work with every single day.
Yeah, there's a fine line between being friends with the real estate agent, because obviously you want to have that rapport, and so they sell to you, and I guess selling them on the benefits of, you know, allowing your client to buy the property over somebody else. Like, everyone's got the best interest of their client in heart. Like, the selling agent needs to get the highest price for their client, but then the selling agent doesn't get paid unless they sell the property. Yeah. Buyers agents, same. That's kind of why I prefer a fixed fee model rather than a commission model, because it's not tied to, well, if I'm charging you 2% for this purchase, the more you pay for it, the more I get paid. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, it's a massive conflict of interest there.
Yeah. But then you're right, going back to the other point, like when you are buying those multi-million dollar properties, it's funny because $100,000 feels like $10,000. You know, like you're like,
it's you're buying an 8-figure deal. Like you're buying a 10 mil property. Like it's not. So if you're buying $1 million property,
put it this way: if I'm buying an investment property at $550,000, I'm like, oh, is it worth $550? Is it $560? $540? I'm buying a $5.5 million property.
Yeah.
5.5, is it 5.4, 5.6? That's $100,000. Yeah. But in reality, that's just the way it works.
It's cost of doing business, really.
Yeah.
I think you'd be silly not to use a buyer's agent.